Hi everybody, very welcome. I'm happy to meet you and greet you on this product manager's preparation course for landing the job on European market. And I'm happy that you chose exactly us on this difficult journey. So let me explain in this video what is this course about, what's our program, what's our objectives, what we're gonna gain at the end of the course. My name is Olga. Hi. And I've been working as a product manager more than 6 years in different domains. I currently contributing in AI startup on European market, and I recently got an offer from US company. I have experience passing interview to Pinterest, Salesforce, Etsy, and some other technical companies, and I think I have something to put to the table. I also have been mentoring for more than 3 years individuals to help them to prepare to the interview, and I work in Product Games Case Club as a mentor for last year, and I think we collected a lot of knowledge about interviews, how to pass it, and not only a lot of knowledge what kind of problems students face solving the cases, what kind of problems people face, candidates face going to the interview. And we've decided to create this course based on all this knowledge. We decided to focus on solving problem interviews, solving cases interviews as one of the most important parts, one of the most difficult types of interviews, and one of our stronger sides. So let's talk about the course objectives. What we're gonna gain in the end of the course. Basically, I expect us to be able to answer any type of product manager's interview question. Of course, considering that you have relevant experience, that you got fit for the position and good culture fit for the company, and you're prepared to the interview, I want you to be able to pass interviews. Of course, passing interview exactly have some other factors such as luck, such as interpersonal communication, etc., etc. But I want us to gain in the end of the course the ability to know how to answer different type of questions and the ability to answer it correctly. So that's why I split it um, my objective to teach you how to pass product managers interview questions for three objectives. So first is provide you general information about interviews, about job seeking process, about LinkedIn, about CV, etc., etc. That's because I don't want you to end up in the situation when you're already ready to pass the interview, you know how to answer behavioral questions, you prepared a lot, you know how to answer product case interviews, and you don't have good CV, or you have a CV but you're not able to pass any ATS. So I don't want you to postpone your job searching process. I want you to start immediately, maybe in the middle of the course, not in the end. So that's why we added the general block. The second objective, and this is the focus of the course, to teach you how to pass cases, product cases, how to solve it. We'll talk about product sense, product execution. We'll also talk about behavioral questions and technical interviews. I want you to know how to solve product cases. This is important part, and this is the focus of the course. And the third objective is I don't want you to only know how to solve, I want you to be able to solve. That's why we're talking about the practical skills. I want you to get practical skills through our sessions in mini groups, through your work with your peers, through your watching the theoretical videos, through your homework, your practice alone. And I believe combining all these tools, you will be able in the end of the course to solve product cases. Let's briefly talk about types of interviews for product managers. So basically there are 4 types of interviews, which covers like 90, maybe 80% of all product managers interviews. That's why we've decided to focus on exactly these ones. behavioral questions, product sense, product execution, and technical questions. What does it mean? I mean that a majority of companies use the blend of these questions to test you as a product manager. Big tech companies have a pleasure to have plenty of stages of interviews and conduct separate types of interview. For example, you have one separated interview of 1 hour for product sense. Next day, you have one interview for product execution. Next day, you can have 1 hour of behavioral questions, some maybe technical questions for 1 hour as well. Sometimes it's 1 hour and a half or even 2 hours, depends on the company. But if you know how to solve the product sense case for 1 hour, it will be very easy for you to solve parts of this case, which is often asked by smaller companies or mid-sized companies when they blend different types of questions in their interview. That's why we are focusing on solving full questions. So we're doing the hard part, and if the case will be simple, if the question will be simple, of course you will be able to answer it as well. That's why this is our focus. Briefly talking, behavioral questions are designed to test your soft skills and test culture fit. Product execution designed to test how do you work with metrics, how do you know how to measure the success of the feature, how you're good in debugging. Product sense questions are designed to check your product centricity, customer centricity, how you do your discovery, product research, how good you are in validating and prioritizing hypotheses. And the technical questions are very broad, depends on the company, what they're going to check. Basically, it's checking your hard skills regarding technologies. So it can be scale questions, it can be even math questions, it can be questions about system design, how technologies works, etc., etc. Depends on the company. So that's why we are focusing in this course, we're focusing in cases. I believe if we know how to answer behavioral questions and we know how to solve the cases, we can crack most of interviews. We have a lot of experience of conducting lessons in mini groups for solving product cases. And in this course, we took the best from our knowledge, from our experience, and our experience which problems students face often, which mistakes they make often. And to prevent all these obstacles, we created such a program. So the first base of our program is pre-recorded videos. I'm very happy that we decided to include it because currently in our case club, I need to give the theory during the class. And this is difficult because it takes a lot of time. I'm trying to be concise and I need to skip some details, but in our course, I will be able to give you all details about solving the course. I need to say that videos consist a lot of information, a lot of details, and probably you need some to make some conspects because it's a lot of nuances. But I believe it's worth it because you have opportunity to find everything in one place, how to solve each type of interview, and I hope you find it very helpful. So this is the first part of activities. The second part of activities is our sessions in mini groups. I expect you to arrive prepared to the lesson. So if tomorrow we are going to have a topic of product sense, I expect you to watch all videos on the platform related to product sense. Ideally, to practice at home at least one case, so you will be aware about all questions that may arise, about all problems that may arise, and in this case you will take the maximum from the scores and we are going to move faster. And the third part of our education is peers collaboration. This is very important. It's important to collaborate with your partners. It's a big pleasure to have a partner, the person who is on the same stage, who is on the same page with you, who is motivated as you. It helps with motivation, it helps with discipline. So I want to encourage you to use this opportunity. So you will have tasks to practice with your partner, and I want to encourage you to use it. I can't push you to do it, of course, but to take the maximum from the course, I want to encourage you to use the power of community. Let's talk very briefly about the course program. It's quite intense one, and we'll start from general block. As I mentioned already, general block is quite additional, and we added it because I don't want you to end up in the situation when you're already in the end of the course, when you know how to answer behavioral questions, you know how to answer case questions, but your CV is not ready and you don't know from what to start, and you can't start your job seeking process. So, to avoid this situation, we added this general block. As I mentioned already, you can watch it whenever you want, in the end of the course, in the beginning of the course, in parallel, doesn't matter. I just think that it's important to us to include these points. So we'll talk about CV, how to write good CV, how to write strong bullet points, what parts CV should contain, what's the general mistakes, etc., etc., etc. So I believe all this information covers like 80-90% of your needs. So you will have, if you follow all these rules, you will have a good CV which can catch recruiters and hiring managers. So of course we will talk about elevator pitch. And what is this? Basically it's the question, tell me about yourself. And we'll talk about the general rules, how to answer on these questions, what kind of hooks you can leave in your elevator pitch, and how to create a good elevator pitch, how it should look like. Maybe I will share mine. And we'll talk about LinkedIn, of course, because it's one of the main tools. Everybody who is searching for work in international market, they should have a strong LinkedIn. So we'll talk about the main points, what to do, like what to write in LinkedIn. Yes, you need to write something in LinkedIn, ideally. And we'll talk about keywords, etc., etc. About keywords in CV, of course, we'll talk about ATS. This blog contains important information, how to create your important artifacts to start your job process. I also decided that it's important to include the block about career strategy, because job seeking process is always aligned with your career strategy. You should have your career strategy. You should have your searching for a job strategy as well. And we'll talk about this. We'll talk about tips how to find the job, or how to find job in LinkedIn and in other resources, how to delegate part of this job. And yes, it will be just general information which is important. Some people, including me, gaining this information with time. I don't want to lose your time. I don't want you to lose 1 year of job searching process and after that find out, like some valuable insights. So that's why I want to share these insights with you. And of course we will talk in one lesson, in one video, about tips how to prepare the interview, to the interview, because uh, even if you know how to solve any cases, behavioral interviews, to any interviews, to every interview, you need to prepare separately. So, and we'll discuss all the tips, what to read, what kind of information you need to gain, what kind of information is okay to ask, and what kind of information is not okay to ask. Yeah, so we'll talk about your collaboration with recruiters. Yes, so this is pretty much the program of General Block, and I believe it will help us to start the job seeking process immediately, maybe during the course already. So I hope none of us will struggle with CV or LinkedIn, or like I don't know what to do, like I don't know from what to start. So to avoid this struggling, we created this general block. In the case interview block, we'll discuss all theoretical questions of all four types of interview that we talked before, right? So we'll talk about behavioral interviews, how to pass this, what kind of interviews is this, what's the STAR method, how to use it, what's the common mistakes, what's the hiring manager perspective, how to match the information that you gain from their website and your answers, etc., etc. So I expect to you to know everything about behavior interview and how to pass it successfully after watching this theoretical blog. The same about product sense interview. What kind of interview is this? How to answer? What's the structure? What's the hiring manager's perspective? What they want to ask, what they how do they conduct this interview, what's their objectives, and you will have all the theoretical information about this type of interview. And the same about product execution. What type of product execution interviews exist? Spoiler, it's several types. We'll talk about metrics. What is North Star? What's the counter metrics, target metric? What's the trade-off and the control metric? So we'll talk in details about all these types of metrics, about root cause analysis, and in the end of watching these videos, you will gain all the information how to pass any type of product execution interview. Technical interview is not the focus of this course, but I want us to know what is technical interview, what types exist, how to prepare, what kind of information to read, what to expect, from this type of interviews, and what's the hiring manager's perspective, what they expect for you, what's the criteria. So we'll talk about technical interviews. We'll talk about sources where to find the information about technical interviews, and I want us, my objective here, to provide you all this information and to make you to be able to prepare to any technical interview if it's some company you will have one. So for example, at Yandex I had technical interview, and it was system design and SQL, but I was warned about this in advance, so I had time to prepare. Of course, without preparation, it's almost impossible for me was to solve this interview successfully, but I did it with some preparation, and I want to encourage you that this is possible. Even if you don't have technical background, it's still possible, and I don't want you to be afraid of this phase of interview. Let's talk briefly about our practical sessions. And the first block is behavioral interview questions. We will have 2 lessons of practicing these kind of questions. I need to say it's a general disclaimer that for all practical sessions, I expect you to be prepared already to watch um, pre-recorded videos, to have all your knowledge, to have your conspect if you need. And on practical sessions, I am going only to practice. I'm not going to double give you theory or something that you can watch online. So on the first practical session, we are going to practice to try to answer simple, very common behavioral questions, and we'll check, we'll compare how other people in the group answer it and how you answer. I will give you my feedback, maybe I will answer if you want, and we will have this collaboration and reciprocation in the group. And after, I want to encourage you to use AI bot that you will have access during all the course to help you to practice. I want you to use your peers. I want to encourage you to have meetings together and practice together. The second person's perspective helps a lot. It helps with motivation. It helps with discipline. And it's a huge relief to meet the person who is on the same page with you, who is on the same stage, and use this opportunity. I want to encourage you to use this opportunity. So, and the second session will be with just a bit more difficult, more tricky questions. So we will check how uh, our preparation at home helped us um, to made us on the next level, and we'll try to answer more difficult questions. Product sales interview, I need to say that this is one of the most difficult types of interview for people to understand how to solve it. What do they expect from me? So, to answer this question, we are going to watch pre-recorded videos with theoretical parts, but on practice, I see that even after theoretical part, it's difficult. So that's why I've decided to split one case for two lessons. So we'll have two sessions solving the one case, and we'll discuss in the first part the mission and the strategy of the company, clarifying question, we'll define the goal together, and we will split users two segments. And it will be enough for us to understand the beginning of the case. This is the most difficult part. After, on the second lesson, we'll resolve the second part. So we'll talk about pain points, about solutions, about MVP rollout, risks, metrics, etc. And from my experience, this part already goes easier if you understood the first part. That's why I've decided to divide. So the third lesson will be resolving the case together, solving the case together. We'll take some quite simple case, the normal one. And on the fourth lesson, I hope we will be able to solve together more difficult case for senior or staff position, more broad one. And to be able to do it, of course, we need to do our homework, to practice alone, to practice with timer, which is which is very important. And of course, I want to encourage you to practice it with peers. Of course, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. So you need to schedule the call for at least, I think, 2 hours, honestly, like 1 hour per person. So it's a lot, I understand. But if you have this opportunity, I want to encourage you to use it, because the second person's perspective, the second person's appearance already influence your preparation a lot. So I expect you to be able to solve any product sense task in the end of these 4 practical sessions. Regarding the technical interview, we will have one session together. We are going to solve system design case, and this is one of the most popular technical interviews that Yandex, Google, and some other big companies like to conduct. So we will practice this kind of interviews, which are often conducted for engineers, not for managers. But for managers, they have different expectations, so that's fine. We are going to have 5 sessions for product execution interview. It's a lot, but because product execution interview is essential type of interviews, and also because it's a lot of metrics that we are going to cover, and also because it's different types of product execution interview, we will have 5 lessons. And of course, after every lesson, I want to encourage you, as usual, to practice it a lot at home, alone, and with your peer. Use these opportunities. Without practice, it's not possible to make a big step ahead. It's not possible to crack this kind of interview without practice. Only if you have like such a huge experience that you already can do it, honestly. But for most of us, we need to practice. And I want to remind you every time that this is an important part of the course. So I want to encourage you again to dedicate some time, not only for watching videos, not only for our classes, but for the home practice as well. So we are going to discuss in the first lesson North Star metric, how to define it, what's the algorithm. I already I will provide you all the information online, I mean in pre-recorded videos, and we are going to practice together to find good North Star metrics. Very often in this kind of questions, especially in product sense, but in product execution as well, there is no correct answer, but there are incorrect answers. So my goal is to teach you how to give potentially correct answers, but do not give incorrect answers. And the next lesson will be regarding target metric and counter metrics, which is one of the most important part of the product execution. Um, the third lesson will be about control metric and trade-offs. This is senior and staff level question, but we need to be able to give this question, to have the practice to give a good answer. And we will spend 2 lessons for resolving different type of questions. So for the fourth lesson will be about measurement of success, and the fifth lesson will be about root cause analysis, which is different type of product execution interview. Again, I want to encourage you to do your homework after every lesson to maximize your results, and to improve your ability to pass this type of interviews. In this case, with each lesson, you will gain more and more only with practice. And on the 13th week, we are going to have a session about the topic that you will choose. I personally think that probably we will need to uh, make together to solve together the product sense interview question, but I think it depends on the group. So depends which topic will be most uncovered in the end, which practice do you need more. We will choose different types, depends on the group request.